Hello everyone, so today I'm gonna show you how to make this beautiful repeating dungeon texture, and it has a normal map so you can see the nice bumps on the surface. And we start with a 1024 by 1024 pixels large image on Photoshop. I paint a nice brown background and then I make some black lines, straight lines on it. You can do this however you like, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna make this repeating afterwards. And now I'm adding some cracks to the file, to the image, and now I'm erasing some parts of the straight lines so we get a nice uneven look. Now I'm using a soft round brush, and on a new layer I'm painting some bumpiness. These will be the bumps on the normal map, so we got some uneven looking ground tiles. Now I'm also painting the outside part of the image, and this will help when we offset the image to make it repeating. Now to create a repeating texture, we're gonna go into Photoshop's filter options. We're gonna go into Other, and we will choose Offset, and we will offset by 512 pixels on each dimension. And you can see we got a repeating texture here. Now we'll just clean up the middle lines a little bit because they are too obvious that it's repeating there. You can make a little adjustment here and there if you want. Now I'm dragging in a texture that I found on the internet, and I will use this to add some graininess. And don't do this, but you see how I pulled it to the right, it's gonna cause a little bit of a repeating texture because the left side is quite darker on this image. And I'm going to make it black and white, and I will use it as a multiply layer. And since it's gone quite dark, I will also add an adjustment layer, a curves layer, to make it brighter while keeping the dark areas dark, so we don't lose the bumpiness, of course. Here I'm adding a bit of a blur to the grainy texture so it doesn't come out too much. Tiny bit blur. And then I merge the layers with Ctrl-Shift-Alt-E, and to generate a normal map you go into Filter, 3D, and Generate Normal Map. As you can see, you can select the cube to view the image. This one came out a little bit too grainy. You can do a few adjustments with the detail scales and blurriness. Now we can go into Unity, we'll create a plane, and we will create a material. And now we'll drag in our diffuse and normal map textures into Unity. We'll use the diffuse map as the albedo and normal map as a normal. And as you can see, we get a nice bumpy floor texture already. You can also do a few adjustments. You can play with the offset and tiling. And there you have it. We have our nice repeating tile texture here. And there is a second part to this, which I will explain in a second. Now in my game Ricochet, I'm using this texture right here, and you can see we have some dirt areas here. And the way I did this was through Blender Guru's tutorial, which I will link in the info panel on the top right corner and also in the description. So in Blender I created a material and I've made some image textures, and I'll use my floor diffuse and normal images with Blender Guru's mapping. I don't know how to call these shaders, I guess, I don't know. You can combine two different textures on one material, which is quite awesome. They can both have their own normal maps and their own base colors, and once you get what you want, once you're happy with what you got, you can create a new image knot with Shift A, texture, image texture, and you can select or create a new file. Let's say this is the floor diffuse, and we can make it 248 by 248. We don't need the alpha, so click OK, and this will be the diffuse map. And you will go into the shading panel, you will go into the render properties, and you will select cycles instead of Eve, and if you go down you'll find the bake panel, and in a bake panel you'll just use diffuse, click this guy right here, and if you select the floor diffuse image here, this one, and you can just click bake, then you will get the diffuse map. And if you select the normal and just click and change this image into a new floor diffuse normal, okay, and then you bake on it again, you will then be able to click here, image, and then save as into a nice texture that is the combination of your tile and your dirt image. I highly recommend using Blender Guru's tutorial here. He explains it perfectly, much better than I ever could. But basically you combine these pictures through a noise texture, and then you can change where the dirt is depending on the texture, as you can see here. But be aware, this noise texture doesn't repeat, so you're gonna have to be clever with it. So that's it for this tutorial, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you on the next video.